People often ask me what my favorite self-help book is. Oh, that's a long story. No, it's not, because it's not that goddamn Pablo Escobar or whatever. It's not Pablo Escobar. You know that guy that I'm talking about that everybody says, oh, this book changed my life, and it's about some guy seeking gold. It was a long time ago that I read it, and I thought, this sucks. You know what I think is the best self-help book of all time? Art of the Deal. It's actually not bad. The one that I do think stands the test of time, and if I'm talking about books here, I'm not talking about holy scriptures, by the by. Obviously, I'm going to be choosing Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins and, of course, the New Testament, Awaken the Giant Within, which is, I still think, from the 80s, possibly 90s. It's new to me, even though I've read it probably 100 times. No. The other mere mortal book that I will always recommend to you is 50 Shades Darker. No, it is... Imagine if that was my answer. No, seriously, I think that the second one was better than the first. It perfected on perfection, if that's even possible. And if you don't get some good life lessons out of that, then, frankly, you can colour me hogtied. I think that the best, without a doubt, is Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, what did I just say? Because I'm pretty sure that I mumbled it. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You haven't read that? You're a loser. Straight up. And I never want to meet you in my life. I only want to meet people that have read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that is because they'd be highly effective. They're good people. That is a manual that, regardless of what you want to do in your life, those principles work. It is from the building site to the finished building site, aka office space, or whatever other things buildings are used for. Gazebos. And, of course, barbecue shelters. Very similar to gazebos, but more emphasis on meats. That's, I think, the most important book that you can read, other than, obviously, the Bible. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is something that I still remember. I read it. It was one of the first ones that I ever read, and it'll be one of the last ones that I ever read. By the way, did you know that I'm doing a seminar, and the reason that I'm doing this video is because I was talking about the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and breaking them down, as well as a bunch of other success tips that were at those seminars. If you don't go to those seminars, you're really missing out. I'm telling you. You are getting gold. I've got so many stories of people coming in that were dragged by somebody else. They're in the seminar going, what the hell? Everybody's got notepads and not drinking beers. And they're sitting there on their phone, like the little chimpanzees they are, writing down everything that I say, because everything that I say is important, even now, but especially in there, when you're paying money for it. So, the tickets are below. If you don't go, you're a terrible person. End of story. I don't want to hear about it. But you want to hear about 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, don't you? That's why you clicked on this. Well, you clicked on it because it was titled something like, this is the best book I ever read, what is it? Or... Now, this is all obviously a decoy for me to talk about 50 Shades Darker. And I will get to that. But 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'll give you one taste of how good this book is. I'll give you the tip. The tip is, don't Google it, just listen to me. The tip is... be proactive rather than reactive. Be proactive rather than reactive. That's going to serve you for life. All of these habits stack on each other, by the way. But be proactive rather than reactive. What does that even mean? I should probably stop saying it and respond. What am I doing by doing this video right now? That's right. Yes. Very good answer. Yes, I'm being proactive, aren't I? Because this video is being filmed a week before. Surprise! It's because I'm doing something else. Something very mythical and magical. And there's 2 options here. 1, I either don't tell people about my show and so nobody buys any tickets. 2, I get this out and then people know about it. And I've also got content that's coming out. And that means that I can collect the ad rev for it and also tell you that I've got Patreon where you get 3 extra of these videos a week. That's right. Those were always pre-done. Always. Yeah, you get to defrost the pest from my mind. My mind is a Calvinator freezer. Hey, at least it's a good brand. If you don't do it, you're not getting these reminders. You are not getting the best of what I've read that week. You are not getting what is going to be your success in life, which is having somebody reminding you endlessly that you need to excel. You cannot settle for having the life that you have now. Why can't you settle for that? Because if you settle for it, it will decline. There is only 2 options. You can either grow or you can shrink. Die is another word for it. And that's what a self-help coach does. And I'm a cheap-ass version of that. I am not a professional by any means, but I think I am. I honestly think that I am one of those autistic baseball guys that goes there and knows what the ref should have been doing. That's me at this point. I have had a lot of life coaches, and I think that I'm better than most of them if I do say so myself. Honestly, it gets to about the point where you're paying about $500 a session before I start thinking, yeah, that guy knows what he's doing. But other than that, go get your cheapie, sign up. The reason that this is proactive is I was thinking of problems in advance that I could put out. What happens if I don't do these videos? Well, let me whine, like the little piglet that I am, about my sad little life. If that doesn't go through, that is a week of content missed. Oh no, it gets worse than that. No one's at the seminar. It gets worse than that. There's no ad rev. It gets worse than all of that. There is no momentum on the channel. You have to think about what is going to be a fire in the future and put it out now. This is a Tony Robbins classic. We were talking about it right now, last night. I want you to write it down now. Kill the monster while it's little. You are training yourself to look into the future, using your ability to do that, which very few animals have, to look into the future and, oh, there's the fire. And then you extinguish it before it comes into your own life. Think about how fewer bushfires or wildfires, if you're American, which I sincerely hope you're not. You're not as good for my ad rev. You're good for other people's ad rev. I'm sure you're very important and special. They are not going to burn as much because you are thinking in the future, these are the things that I need to address. When you're at your workplace, who do you think gets hired? Who do you think gets promoted? It's those that are the proactive ones. It's those that think, oh, the boss hasn't even thought of this problem yet. I'm going to bring it to him, and then I'm going to brag in front of the boss, and I'm going to say, this is a problem. Let's address this problem. I'll do it. I don't need any gumption. Let me just do it. I'll have the free agency. I'm a free agent person. In fact, you can even do it, and then you solve it, and then you tell them afterwards. You know what I know as an employer? Anytime anybody comes up to me and says any of that stuff, I want to hire them. I want to promote them. I'm thinking of ways to cap my own salary so that I can give them the promotion that they deserve. They deserve it because they are proactive. It is something that you will notice about all of the people in your life that you like, that you rely on, that you depend on. They're all proactive. What's the opposite? Reactive. What are those people like? Unreliable. They are always waiting until it's a bushfire in their life and then they throw water on it. They are scum, let's be honest. And it's probably you watching right now. Anybody that always thinks, I'll do it tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Never put off today. Never put off tomorrow. What can be done today? I was being smug about his line that I've screwed up. You have to have that mentality in life. Well, you don't have to. You can be reactive. But this is pretty much that same principle that we're talking about here. This is just the verb of grow or die. Grow or die. People who are reactive are dying. People who are proactive are going up. They're going up. Those are your 2 options. You either wait for it to become a bushfire or you put it out when it's just a little match. And every little one of those matches that you put out, there is another secret coded, much more beneficial point for you. That is that every single time you are putting out one of these teeny little fires, you are getting better at the cognitive skill of predicting what those problems are going to be. Therefore, you are sort of getting better at predicting the future. Yeah, I'm kind of saying that it makes you a bit of a psychic. That's what I'm saying. And with a straight face as well. Well, a little bit crooked because You know, it's just a nice little poetic tint on what happens. It is a nice little poetic tint, though, isn't it, if I do say so myself? You are giving yourself the ability to think, here's where I need to go, and here's what's going to be the hurdles in front of it, and I will, because I've already had all of these little fires that are put out in front of it, I'm much better at predicting where they're going to be. This is a big skill in life. The more that you are proactive, this is talking about looking into the future and thinking, these are the things that need to be settled in the future, not now. Like, everybody is always looking at the thing that is in front of them and going like, yeah, you know, there's just too much. And you know what it all is? It just comes from a reactive mindset. A reactive mindset is there's things in front of me and I ignore everything until it becomes so big that I can't ignore it anymore. No, you're listening. You're not ignoring. I'm pretty happy with that. Hey, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you sign up to Jordan Shanks for an extra 3 videos a week. If you don't, you're very silly. You're missing out on a lot of gold. And come to Bo Sip It Up.